We'll now be taking up a new chapter in the class 10th mathematics portion, and that is areas related to circles. Areas related to circles. So we're going to take up this concept, which is a class 10th concept in your mathematics portion. And again, it is an important chapter with your exam point of view because it has a high weightage. Now, areas related to circles, basically here we're going to talk about the areas part of circles, areas and some mensuration questions and concepts with regards to circles, right? In the last chapter, we've looked at circles, how circles work, tangents, and some geometrical concepts. Here we are going to look at more of the areas and the mensuration concepts, which is your perimeter, area, circumference, etc. Right? So let us recall the definition of a circle, right? You know the circle's definition, the definition of a circle. It is basically a set of points that are equidistant from a fixed point. So basically, a set of points that are equidistant from a fixed point, they are called a circle. They formulate a circle, right? So for example, I have many points going around one fixed point, suppose this one, O. And they are all equidistant from that fixed point, O. So when these points are joined together, we say that we've got a circle because these points are equidistant from the center, and this constant distance, equal distance, is called the radius of the circle, right? So r is the radius of the circle, which is the constant distance between each point of the circle to that fixed point, which is called the center of the circle. So O is called the center of the circle, right? So this set of points is called a circle, right? Now there is a radius, center of the circle, and this part, the boundary of the circle, this boundary of a circle, which I am outlining now, this boundary of a circle, this boundary of the circle is called the circumference of the circle. So the boundary of the circle is called the circumference of the circle, right? And circumference of a circle, right? That's the circumference of the circle. Now in circles, the circumference formula is 2 into pi into r, right? Where pi is basically a constant value and it is the ratio between the circumference and the diameter of the circle. Now, mathematicians did many experiments. They studied many circles, they analyzed circles, and they realized that the ratio between C and D, that is circumference and the diameter, seems to be a constant value, right? It seems to be a constant value for almost every circle, although this constant value is non-terminating, right? It's just going on. Approximately it's the same. And the approximate value of pi was found out to be 22 by 7 or 3.14159, so on, right? So that was what we found pi to be. It was a non-terminating decimal, and it was the ratio between the circumference and the diameter of a circle, right? So using this pi, we calculate the circumference and the area of a circle, which we'll study a bit later. And the formula for that is 2 pi r, which can also be written as 2r into pi, and 2r is nothing but the diameter, so pi d, right? So basically pi d, 2 pi r, that's what we can say, right? So that's your circumference of a circle. The circumference of a circle is equal to 2 pi r or pi d, right? So that's your circumference of a circle. Next comes the area. Now the area basically is the region which the circle actually encloses. So this region, right, this region of the circle which it encloses, right, the region within the circle's boundary or circumference which it encloses, this region is what we call the area of the circle. Right, the region inside the circle which it encloses, this region is called the area of the circle. And there's a very direct formula for the area of the circle. Again, area of the circle is equal to pi r square, right? It's equal to pi r square. Again, where pi is the same thing, it is the value 22 by 7 approximately, and its decimal form is 3.14159, so on. Usually we take it as 3.14 for our calculation purposes, and we take pi as 22 by 7 in a fraction value usually. Now, in your calculations, if the pi value is not specified, take it as 22 by 7. Only when it is specified as 3.14, take it as 3.14, right? Always take pi as 22 by 7 if it's not specified. If it is specified that pi is to be taken as 3.14, then only take pi as 3.14. Otherwise, don't take pi as 3.14. Okay, so these are some basic terms with regards to circles. 2 pi r is the formula for the circumference of a circle, and area is pi r squared, right? So this was a basic introduction to areas related to circles. I hope you understood it. I hope, because this is something which you've been learning for many years in smaller classes. So I hope you're done with this. Let us take one example to solve this question, to use this concept, right? So they've basically given you a semicircle, and they've said that the diameter of the semicircle is 7 centimeters, right? We need to find the circumference of the semicircle, and we also need to find the area of painting this, not area of painting, the area of the semicircle, right? So we need to basically calculate these things. How do we do that? Pretty simple. Now d is given to us 7, therefore r will be 7 by 2 centimeters, right? So circumference, for the circle, here it is circumference, that is the curved boundary. We do not consider the base. We will not consider this linear boundary. No. Circumference always refers to the curved boundary. So we'll be taking only this boundary, not the linear boundary. Okay, if it is given perimeter, take the linear boundary, but if it is not given, if it's given just circumference, then take only this curved region. So C will be half into 2 pi r, right? Because it's a semicircle, it will be half of that total circumference. To 2 and 2 get cancelled, you will get pi r. Again, pi is not specified, take it as 22 by 7. So this will be 22 by 7 into 7 by 2 into 7 by 2. So 7 and 7 go one time, 2 and 11 go one time, right? So you will get 77 by 2, which is 37 point, no, not 37, it'll be 38.5 centimeters squared, right? So that's the circumference. Okay, sorry, it's not squared, we won't square it, right? Just 38.5 centimeters. That's the pi r. Oh gosh, sorry. What did I do? It's pi r, right? Sorry. Only 22 by 7 into r, which is 7 by 2. So 7 and 7 go one time, this goes 11 times, so it'll be 11 centimeters. That is the circumference of the circle, right? That's the circumference of the circle, right? Now we come to the area of the circle. Area is pi r square, so that's 22 by 7 into 7 by 2 into 7 by 2. So 7 and 7 go once, and this will go 11 times, so this will be 77 by 2, which is 38.5 centimeters squared. Right, so that's the circumference and area of a semicircle, right? So area was basically this region, right? And the circumference was basically the curved boundary of the circle, of the semicircle, right? So that's absolutely clear. That was one example to explain this concept, right? So with this, we are done with this video. Thank you very much for joining me. In the next video, we will be starting with the actual concepts in this chapter, that is the concept of sector and segment area and their perimeter and circumference. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Stay healthy, stay smart, and do keep studying. Bye bye.